ThreadSol Experts, which is the consultancy wing for apparel manufacturers, was set up with the objective of providing actual expert knowledge for the improvement of the factories. The projects under experts are very carefully devised so as to not leave any gap in the consultancy that we provide.
During my years in the industry, I've seen a lot of factories struggling with consultants because the projects they did were open-ended. Due to these loose ends, the duration extended into weeks and months. So while designing the modules, we set down clearly set time-based activities along with clearly defined deliverables.
People working in cutting, sewing, finishing and industrial engineering departments learn their jobs on the floor itself. This module covers the training of the best practices to manage your fabric inventory in store, fabric inspection 4.0 system, the different kind of defects, faults and damages you encounter in fabrics, how to do the best possible cut planning and lay planning, how to manage the execution of these plans on the cutting floor, and most importantly, how to capture the data from the cutting floor, how to measure your performance and produce reports for continuous improvement. This module is aimed at imparting the knowledge of how to achieve a compliant, productive and efficient sewing line. This is again aimed at the middle management. This module deals with the criticalities and processes of the finishing and packing department. Finishing and packing departments are of utmost importance because they are responsible for making sure that the garments which are being shipped to the customers are of the right quality and free from any defects.
Diagnostic Study is a very interesting module from ThreadSol Experts. The way to improvement starts by knowing exactly where we stand. The factories generally lack this visibility. When I say they lack visibility is that they do not know what are the performance and the productivity and the process adherence of their each department. They are unable to identify the gaps. This module specifically helps in studying extensively the existing processes, identify the gap and formulate strategy to better them. We also train the department heads and the industrial engineers to carry out this diagnostic study themselves. This helps the manufacturer to identify their current gaps and formulate strategy to better them and remain competitive in this market. It is very important for any manufacturer to understand the key performance indicators for each department. This module helps in defining the KPIs and understand the benchmark for each of them. When we do this module, we generally study the processes, understand the key performance indicator for each department and benchmark them. This is very important for smooth functioning of any manufacturing unit.
This module focuses on providing in-depth conceptual understanding of IE concepts to the industrial engineers in a factory. It focuses heavily on training the IEs on how to formulate the different SOPs or standard operating procedures and KPIs, the key performance indicators for the factory operations. It also focuses heavily on CM costings and operator training. All in all, it enables the IEs to perform better in their day-to-day functions in a factory.
Our module on value stream mapping helps factories to identify value-added and non-value-added processes. This is very important to identify what actually drags you down in your process chain. We generally have a detailed documentation of their current processes with correct set process boundaries along with their calculated timelines. The improved process chart for future is then developed with detailed documentation. The objective here is to eliminate or reduce to minimal the non-value added processes. The factory IE after this is taught how to do the value stream mapping so that he can take it forward and continually improve the factory processes.
One of the modules of our experts is floor lighting. Now, this is the most neglected thing in our industry. Once the lights are fixed, hardly anyone cares about the lux levels and its repercussions in the industry. This is because the factory does not have enough time and enough bandwidth to deal with this. But this is a very crucial aspect as it affects the product quality and the workers' eyesight in the long run. Our module on floor lighting helps the industries evaluate their current lighting setup and then suggest the revised lighting setup based on the standard lighting requirements. The revised lighting setup will also ensure conservation of energy and that it comes in the minimum possible cost. One of the modules of our experts is on layouts. Now, how many manufacturers or the industrial engineers actually think about the layout of the departments that they have? In my consulting career, I have seen very handful of factories being actually concerned about their layouts of the departments that they have. This module of ThreadSol Experts helps the manufacturers analyze their existing layouts based on man, material and process movements. An optimal layout is then suggested to the factory, which is thoroughly devised based on reduced wasteful movements.